Hello guys, this is a new episode of Casual Gamer View On, and this week I'm going to talk about, like you can see in the background, Mafia 2! Say hello to my camera by 2K Games. Can you see it? Yeah. There you go. 2K checks. Check. I don't know how you say that. But I tried this game like a month ago and I finished it. I heard about it a lot, but I never really got into it when it came out, and I think I never played the first one because I wasn't interested. So I decided to pick this one because it's now pretty cheap. And so the first thing, I'm going to talk about the bad aspect of the game. First thing, it's considered a sandbox game, which is wrong. It's not a real sandbox. You know, for me, a sandbox game is basically an open world, like a big city, where you can do anything you want. Like you got side missions or stuff to find. You got the main mission too, but you can basically play around a little. You can do stuff in a sandbox game. In this one, you don't really have any option to do so. The city is pretty big. It's a pretty big city, but the only thing you can do apart the main mission, the main plot, is basically buying stuff. You can buy food to restore your health, which is completely pointless because you get food in your house for free, so you can just go back to your house and eat and you'll be fine. And you can buy clothes, which is pointless too, but I will come back to it in the more positive aspect of the game. And also you got a egg hunt, like you can find Playboy's cover with real tits, and that's what it's going to sell the game for you. You can have real tits in this game, but I didn't bother too much with it because basically the game put you in some places where you can clearly see the Playboy's magazines, but I didn't spend any time trying to look for the other one because the city is big and I didn't bother for that. And then really later on in the game I discovered you can find some little posters on wall with wanted stuff like Al Capone and stuff like that. But there was a lot of them. I think there's more than 100 to collect. And I was like, I'm not going to bother because it's really tiny pictures on bits of wall everywhere in the city. So that's not what I consider good sandbox. Other thing is you will spend a lot of time driving around. And I think it took me like 15 or 20 hours to beat the game. And yet I went for the main mission all along. But the thing is, you're going to spend a fucking load of time just driving. Because the difference, like for GTA, for example, is that if you go over the speed limit or go through a red light, the cops will chase you. And that's why the game thought about a speed limiter, where you can basically just follow the indicated speed limit. And everything is alright. So you basically have to drive really slowly around, and you have to go back to your house every time you finish a mission. Like the game can go on without you doing that. You go to a mission, really long drive, because basically all the missions are really far away from your house. You finish the mission, and then you have to go back to your house to unlock the next mission, or else nothing happens. And it's really annoying, it's really boring. And it strikes me after 8 hours of gameplay, I was driving again, I was like so bored of driving because nothing can happen. Even the most tiniest thing you can do, like bumping into a car, if you got a cop near you, they will chase you. They're pretty easy to escape, but too much driving. It was really annoying. But it's not really something that can make the game bad. Also, another thing is the camera angles, but the camera angles in this game are pretty bad because most of the time it's cover-based shooting, by the way. You have a lot of shooting action where you hide behind walls and stuff like that. It's pretty effective, but most of the time you will be looking at the wall texture more often than you can think of because the camera angles are pretty bad, but like I was going to say, you can't complain too much about that nowadays because we're in a gaming generation where you got a lot of games with bad camera angle and you have to work with that, to work around that. If you know any games, and I'm pretty sure there is, but nothing is coming to my mind right now, games with good camera angle, good camera work, please post it in the comments, because right now I can't think of anything. But if you think about it, I think there is more games with bad camera angles than anything. So in Mafia 2 it was the same. It was a little bit frustrating, but once you know how to work with it, just like with the car and driving section, you don't pay too much attention to it. I did in the last mission, because you're basically going through a lot of fights, and I had to restart a lot of time because I was stuck behind a bench and the guy was just behind me shooting at me, and it took me like 12 hours to turn around. I was dead. There was something else that I didn't like about the game. A little bit of the story. A lot more about character development. The main protagonist is Vito, and there will be some minor spoilers in this video, but I mean, it's a Mafia game, so it's pretty generic in its storytelling, so I'm not really spoiling anything. If you saw any Mafia movie in the last 30 years, you know what's coming around. Vito is basically sent to jail in the beginning of the game, and when he came back, he started to do some missions for a Mafia. And he gets hired by the Mafia. He's part of the family. And the thing is with Vito, he's Captain Bland in that he shows absolutely no emotion in what he's doing, and at the end of the game you will realize that you slaughter almost the entire city, because most of the time it's killing a lot of dudes. So when a Mafia boss asks him, I want you to go there and kill those guys because they betrayed us, that's legit. It's Mafia orders, you're part of the family, it's well explained, you can't contest what he's saying. So Vito just says, okay, I go, and kills everybody. It just reminds me of John Marston in Red Dead Redemption, but the difference is Marston had to do that for the state because he was trying to be innocent again in the eye of justice. So he had to do those jobs, and he was a little bit complaining about it. Like someone says to Marston, kill those guys, they deserve it. And Marston is like, are you sure? And the guy said, yeah, if you want to be free again, kill those guys. But in the case of Vito, he's like, okay, I will kill everybody you ask me. So far, so good. The thing is, at some point, Vito and his buddy Joe start to work on their own without telling his family. And when someone is trying to betray them, he go kill them immediately with the same impact. Like he doesn't care. At some point I had to kill one Mafia boss, and it was just Vito who decided that. He says, we have to kill this guy, and he murdered like an entire neighborhood to get to this guy and kill him. So it made Joe not really, it made Vito not a really likable character, but you can't hate him either, because he got some motivation, but he doesn't really show any kind of interest in doing it, you know, like, in the beginning of the game you can see he's sent to jail for robbery, and when he come out, his mother is like, please be good like your father, be a good boy, and says, yeah, okay, I'm going to get a job. And the first thing he did in the same hour is going to a Mafia. Like, you cannot really like him, I mean. But in the other sense, now I'm going to talk about the positive aspect of the game. Joe, his buddy, and Henry are far more likable characters because they're entertaining, and you tend to like them more because they actually feel like real human beings. So that was really good. And another thing that I like about the story, it's immersive. I know I said that a lot of time about other game I talked about, but really it's what can save a game for me, the immersion, because most of the time, like I said, nowadays we got bad controls and bad camera angle, but if a game got a good storytelling or immersion, I can basically say it's a good game, and Mafia had that, and it was pretty easy. It's a game about Mafia, and at some point I was trying to buy all the clothes to really fit in, you know, like to have the cool jacket and hat and stuff like that. It's because I was bringing to the game, and I really enjoyed this atmosphere of Mafia because that was really good, and also the voice acting was good. The face motion were pretty good because it was way before L.A. and yet I found the game to be really pretty on that. And it really felt like a Mafia game, you know. And like I said, as long as buying clothes seems useless, I did it anyway because it felt like I was really in a reproduction of a Mafia story. So that's what saved the game for me. And it was, like I said, the action the action sequence, the shooting fight, can be broken at time, but like I said, if you learn how to work with the game defaults, you can still enjoy it. So, would I recommend the game? Yes, I will, because first off, like I said, the bad aspects of the game are not that bad. They won't ruin the experience because it's still a good atmosphere. There's a lot of immersion and you can work around all of the bad stuff of the game and you will still enjoy it a lot because there's actually there's a few plot twists in the story that still makes you want to go on and on to know what's going on. That's what saves the game for me. If you want to play the game even with all these bad aspects, that means good, and I will recommend it because now the game is out since a long time. I think 2 years maybe or more. I don't know. Maybe 1 year, yeah. But now it's a budget title. Like I bought it new for 20 bucks, 20 euros in a shop. So that's definitely a good buy. Good buy. Buying. I'm sorry. So yeah, try this game. It's pretty good. It's cheap. Try it.